G'day guys, welcome back to Supercoach with DR and welcome to the round 22 review. Hope you had a cracking weekend. Well, I'll tell you what, before I get into Supercoach, I'll quickly talk about my weekend because I did spend a couple of days preparing for this, basically all day Saturday, apart from watching the Lions-Crows game. And Brent, bad luck bloke, your fellas almost got across the line in the end, but very happy that the Lions managed to claw onto a victory and secure, just for now, a top 2 spot. That may change after this week, but for now, we are finally there. Been waiting a long time for that. But as I said, spent all day Saturday preparing for this, and then got up at about 4 o'clock on the Sunday morning, packed up the car and headed to the Caulfield Racecourse in one of the big rooms there for the Vintage and Modern Toy Fair. Now, for those of you that are not aware, I'm a massive vintage action figure collector, mainly from the 80s, so cartoons from the 80s that I used to watch as a kid. Masters of the Universe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Ghostbusters, Voltron. I'm really nerding out here. I don't know if any of you have, or you would have all heard of the Turtles at least, maybe Ghostbusters as well, but maybe not some of the other lines, Inspector Gadget, Toxic Crusaders, Street Sharks, Thundercats, you name it, I collect it. And apart from that, I also collect a heap of random lines as well, from horror to sports, anything you can think of. Basically, if I think it's cool, I'll collect it. Now, amazingly, at a toy fair, I bumped into 4 separate blokes that actually watch the channel. Now, one of the blokes that I bumped into, I have known for a little while. I see him at basically every toy fair. And one thing I forgot to mention is obviously I was selling at this one, so had 2 6-foot trestle tables just packed to the brim with figures. And usually I do a bit of selling at these fairs, but usually I'm a buyer. But I thought I'll turn the tables this time and try to actually make some money instead of spending some money. So I always do some great deals with Dave. He was after some of these KO figures that I got, and I thought, look, I'm going to give them for a steal. He actually offered me a little bit more. He said, no, that's a little bit too low, mate, but always happy to help you out, mate. And big shout out to your 2 boys. I know that they also watch the channel, so you're an absolute legend, brother. And just want to show you a gift that he gave me. Now, it may not mean much to you if you don't know what it is, but for those of you that do, Dave actually gifted me this, a Dino Rider with the box. Now, it's all about the box. Now, I don't have the money to buy box things. And look, it is loose within the box. I'm just a loose figure collector. Don't have the cash for the real big stuff, but I don't know if you can see the box art there or appreciate that. That is like more than a super gift. You did not have to do that, mate. I was happy to look after you after what you did for me last time, but thank you very much, Dave. I do appreciate that, my man. And a big shout out to Ben, another bloke that watches the channel. So he came up and introduced himself to me pretty early on, came up to my store, said g'day, had a bit of a chat about Supercoach, and I kept on bumping into him during the day. And about the 3rd time, I reckon I walked past his store, because I was obviously selling, but then I'd walk around, had my wife there and my father-in-law who was selling some Aliens figures, and my son Max as well. So had the store guarded in good hands, and just kept on getting lost trying to look for stuff for myself. But when I bumped into him again at his store, he said, mate, come here, I want to give you a couple of things just as a gift. And I said, mate, you don't have to, I'll fix you up for it, rah, rah. He said, no, not taking your money. I've got 30,000 of them. I bought 30,000 of these back in the day, and you may need to be maybe an 80s or a 90s kid to remember these, but they're the old watch bands, the old surf ones. So remember Quicksilver, Billabong, Rip Curl, all that stuff was really, really in fashion back in the day, excuse me. But he gave me a couple there. He said, mate, take your pick, choose your colour, and they are absolutely fantastic, mate. So I'm going to keep one for myself, actually put it on my collection shelf, and the other one I'm going to give to my son Nash, because he loves all that sort of stuff. So thank you very much, my man. I'll tell you what, very quickly, while I'm here, just to show you the randomness that I collect, I've got a few figures that I've got here, I'll show you, that I picked up on the day. Just a few of the many things that I've got. And I'm spewing. This bloke, oh man, I broke the bloody handlebars. Hopefully I can super glue them. But I'll chuck him on, and you know exactly who he is. I think most people that are into the horror things, you got to remember Saw. Now, I can't watch it. I'm no good with blood and guts and all that sort of stuff. I'd rather a good comedy, or look, I can do John Wick. I love John Wick. But yeah, that's probably Saw's a little bit too full on for me these days, my old age. So you go from Saw 2, and you'll call me crazy, I know, but we've got some vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle napkins. So the old serviettes there, still got the original price sticker, $4.99 from Maya back in the day. What would that be these days? Maybe $15. So at $10, still got them as a steal. You may think I'm weird, and admittedly, I probably am. But that's the sort of stuff that I collect. What else we got here? Oh man, so I'm nerding out here. This has been one of my holy grails. Now, you can't get him for under 180 complete. I got him for $30 off a ripping bloke, an absolute steal. It's Bebop from the Ninja Turtles, and this is a version called Mighty Bebop. So the Turtles did so many different, variations of the Turtles. So you got the original ones, and there was Sports Turtles to Sumo Turtles, everything and anything you think of. The Beach Turtles, up to the Superhero Turtles. So they even had Mike, Farmer Mike is, with a tractor. There you go. That's how far the Turtles went to try to make money. But he's super cool. He's my favourite Turtles character. So been after him for ages. What else have I got here? Here's another one. You know this guy, the Hulkster. So you don't have to be a wrestling fan to know him. Not a huge wrestling collector, but got a heap of the Hulk. Ultimate Warrior was always my favourite. I'll just show you one more. This used to be my favourite, well, a character from my favourite video game as a kid. I don't know if you know who he is. Give you a bit more of a close-up there. Sorry, he's a big figure. It's Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. So remember the move was he had the spear. Whoosh, come here. Bang, give him the uppercut. So absolute ripping figure there. More of a modern one, not a vintage one. But I think it might be from the maybe early 2000s, maybe 2010 even. Not too sure. But that's the sort of stuff that I collect. And yeah, I'll tell you what, you probably think I'm even more strange than what you thought I was before. But another one, shout out to... so it was Tim as well, legend, mate. And yeah, sorry to hear that you are a Libba owner. That's super unfortunate, mate. But I know that you did say that you had a trade up your sleeve. So hopefully you can bring someone in this week, mate, if you look to move him on. And also big shout out to Ruben as well. So a bit of a funny story. Sorry, I'll get into Supercoach, I promise. But funny story. I had this bloke sort of take me on the shoulder, turned around. He said, "Oh, you DR, you run the Supercoach channel." I said, "Yeah, how are you, mate? Rah, rah, rah." And he said, "Oh, it's really funny, I was a few stores up, and I heard a voice, and he said it was a really familiar voice, but I couldn't pick it. I thought, who is that? I know the voice." And then he sort of followed it and came to me with my head, and he recognised me straight away. So shout out to you, mate, and top 1,000 at the moment. What a phenomenal season you are having. So yeah, shout out to all the legends that I met on the day that watch your channel, and they all seem to be going better than me. So yeah, jeez, I've had a bloody rough season. But this week, let's get into the Supercoach. 23.50 for a round score, which I think was just above par. Went up 278 spots, but didn't quite crack the top 3K. That was my goal this week, but all in all, not too bad. I'm sitting at 3,040. So I won't say that it's even really an acceptable rank. Or is it? I suppose it's acceptable from where I started. It just goes to show if you bugger up your starting team in a major way like I did, there's just no way you can get a really solid rank. But I suppose it's okay from where I came from. But really, I'll just never be happy with what I did this year. It was... certainly a year of learnings, and we'll talk about, just quickly getting back to Libba, we'll talk about all the Libba replacements in the Sword Play Potty this week. We've got 2 more up our sleeve, and in some potentially exciting news, I don't know if you've heard about NBL Supercoach, but I was chatting with my man Steve from SDS Supercoach. If you have not subscribed, please go over and do that now. Also, my boys at Supercoach Edge, Damon and Liam, joined them last week. We need to get them up to 1,000 as well. So make sure you subscribe to those 2 legends. Oh, Liam, I saw in the Content Creators League that you captained Libba. Ouch, mate. Oh, felt so bad for you, brother. Hopefully you can bounce back this week. But yeah, please subscribe to those fellas as well. Completely forgot where I was going there. But yes, with the NBL Supercoach. My man from SDS Supercoach, Steve, we're hopefully going to get together and make some content in regards to NBL Supercoach. Don't really know about how the game's going to work. Need to find out more about it. But I'm also hopefully going to get my man Al Payton from the Herald Sun itself to come on and maybe give us a bit of an explanation. He's a ripping bloke. Fingers crossed I'll be able to get him on. But maybe something to look forward to after the Supercoach season has finished. But look, for this video, I'll very quickly go through the side, talk about my VC and captaincy options. I've got no more trades. I ended up trading out Dacos last week. And my 3 recommendations from each line, if you go back to the Swordplay potty, worked out an absolute treat. So my number 1 defensive trade in for Dacos, and this is all under the price. You know, we could have said Sicily, but we wanted to be realistic for those people that didn't have basically any cash in the bank. But I had Nick Newman as number 1. He played a ripping game for the Blues. In the midfield, my number 1 was Darcy Parish, DP3. He also had a really solid game, while Merritt didn't quite get the ton. And in the forward / ruck, we had Luke Dogger Jackson, who I ended up bringing into my side. And look, at half time, it was looking like a 140 plus, but still 120 plus. I'll take from him. Well done, Dogger. And again, I've now got some ruck cover just in case things go pear-shaped in the next couple of weeks. So that is it for the intro, guys. Let's have a look at how the team is actually looking. Oh, and I forgot as well, I need to show you this fella that I picked up as well. We got Big Bird from Sesame Street. Now, I did say at the time that this was for my 10-month-old, but really, it is for me. It's going on my shelf. I actually did attempt a little bit of a skit for the intro, but it was absolute carnage, and my wife actually suggested, she was in the room making me laugh half the time, make me look like an absolute dickhead, so I had him above my shoulder, and I don't even know why I'm saying this, why I'm even editing this bit in. I'm an idiot for doing it, but yeah, I may actually make a bloopers video, because that's what she suggested halfway through the intro. It took me about 20 minutes with this guy sitting on my shoulder, and I thought, no, I'm just going to abandon the idea. I'm not even going to worry about it. So, not sure why I edited that in, but I did. Here's the team. Alrighty, let's get into it. So, look, firstly, you'll see that there are no trades. I did use my last trade last week, as I mentioned. It's a really strange feeling. It's like you're naked, isn't it, when you log into your Supercoach side? Nothing that you can do. Your fate is now in the hands of the Supercoach gods. And let me tell you, folks, that is a very scary proposition. But hopefully I've got decent enough cover to survive a little bit of carnage in the next couple of weeks. But look, in the back line, you'll notice that the Sis Dog was my captain, and again, for the second time this year, he has failed me. It seemed like I've missed out on all of the really big scores, and I've captained the mediocre scores. I didn't get that 58, but yeah, I think he just reached the ton the first time I captained him, and again, 96 for off the ton. Simply not good enough, but the other bloke I was looking at is probably Bont, and that's only, what did Bont get? 115, only 19 points more. So not making a heap there, but hopefully this week the man can bounce back. Stewart with a 69. Don't know what happened to this bloke. I thought both of these fellas this week have pretty friendly matchups for defenders, but not even a ton between them. I thought that, hopefully, fingers crossed, Sicily himself may get a 165, which would have been their scores combined, but not to be. Just one of those weeks. Stewart, very highly owned player anyway. Dawson, good to see him hit back with a 111. Will Day, I believe he had a really red hot start to this game. I was speaking to Dave, I think, about it, and yeah, I know that he was on fire at the start, but not sure what happened in the end. Still serviceable though, almost hit the ton. Tell you what, 98, pretty common score here. Jake Lloyd also had a 98. Again, think he had a pretty good start to the game, but may have faded out. I was looking at scores here and there, not watching it myself, so can't really say what happened there. Jewel was my loophole. Just want to see how Sheasel was going to go. If Sheasel did not perform, then Himmelberg would have come on in place of Dewar. Love that loophole situation. Always use it when you can, but certainly did not need Himmelberg on field because this man went a 135. So thank you very much, Shees. Great to see you bounce back after some of us were thinking, yeah, not looking fantastic, or maybe looking at maybe a 70 average to end the year. All of a sudden, looking a lot brighter. So good job, mate. Onto the midfield. So the Bonds, as I mentioned, another really solid game from him, 115. Heard it was really big last quarter, so great to see from him. Always love a little bit of scaling, which is good too. The track, now, very controversial. Funny, I actually work with Caleb Marchbank's cousin. She's overseas at the moment, so should send her a sneaky message and just ask her to get onto Caleb and say, did you really touch that ball or what? But I didn't know how to feel about this with track. As an owner, That goal gets him to, what, at least a 130 type score. But as a Brisbane Lions fan, it gives us that top 2 spot for now. So I was probably leaning more towards the Brisbane Lions fans' point of view rather than Supercoach. So I actually didn't mind that he wasn't awarded the goal, I must admit. And of course, my good mate Janeth got the win for the Baggers as well. So yeah, to all the Baggers, thank you very, very much. Even to George Hewitt, look, you absolutely killed me as a non-owner. Can't believe this. Bloody luck now. George Hewitt 140. Come on, people. Unbelievable. But congratulations if you did select him. He was a recommendation in my stock market a few weeks ago. But sorry, folks, something happened with the computer there. Just went blank and stopped recording. So not sure, sorry, but we are recording again. So I think I was just ending with that Melbourne Carlton discussion, but I can't even remember what I was saying, but I think I finished on track. So sorry about that. On to Zeret. So it was my VC choice, and bugger it, got tagged. Spewing on this because I was pretty confident this week that I wouldn't need my captain, and in the end, yeah, what's I get, 96. That's the same as Sicily anyway, isn't it? 96, 96. Works out the same anyway. Really disappointing. Led with the 121, really nice. Butters, and look, this is a little bit surprising as well because with Matt Crouch coming into the side, I thought he could negatively affect Rory Laird, but to see a 121, that's fantastic from the man. All good. Butters with a 139, fantastic as well from him. He's got, what, 3 130s in a row, I'm going to say now, after a couple of 80s in a row. So if you had have jumped on in the last 3 weeks, congratulations. He's looking absolutely fantastic. The Schlong, really disappointing score from him with a 97. Coming up against West Coast, you're thinking, come on, maybe a nice 120. Got a feeling Spills may have captained him, which I don't think was a really bad move, but yeah, just unlucky there. He's been pretty disappointing for me. Jack Steele with an 81. Oh no, I was celebrating the man, then we've gone back to mediocre. I just really don't know. Neil, 88, just been struggling, but again, highly owned player. Hopefully he gets off the chain this week against the Pies. They don't tag, so hopefully Lockie's in for a big game. Windy with a 73, that was nice. Roberts 34, didn't need him. Some people actually spewing because they want him as a loophole. Rouston didn't play, surprise, surprise. Oh, I knew this would happen. I said Gawn's going to be a terrible pick if Grundy comes back into the side, and what's the bloke deliver an 84? Goody, get Grundy out. You don't need him. I don't need him. I need this bloke as my pod to be smashing it out of the park, you know. If he goes a 140 this week, give him a 120, the lowest score that he's produced in the last month, then I'm clearly inside that top 3K. So it's super, super frustrating. Brodie Grundy, man, I'm just praying that he's out of the side this week. Bring Tommy McDonald in. Please, 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 because I need Gawn to fire if I'm going to rise up in the ranks again, I think. Big Kizet now. Slightly disappointing in a way because of the competition, but I think, is this his 3rd ton in a row after some pretty mediocre type scores? That's good. That's good. So you can't really complain with 115, but as you can see, the glaring thing here is the fact that Marshall went 140 something, English went 140 something, and I've got an 84 and a 115. Last week, the roles were reversed, and I actually won out in my rucks here. This week I didn't. That really hurt me, unfortunately. Gooden with a 90. Okay, you know, nothing fantastic. Rosie with a 130. Absolutely phenomenal. This bloke is a star. Dog up with a 124. Again, was looking really good up to half time. About a 50-point second half, 70-point odd first half. Cogs, super disappointing with a 70. That hurts. Bolton with a 95, that's okay. It was out of him and Himmelberg. I had to field one. Loops just didn't work with those two and end up winning out by 6 points there. That's okay. Taranto, 95. Yeah, do we look to start him next year in a midfield? Probably not a discussion that I'll have now. May do that in the off-season. But, yeah, it's been a disappointing second half of the season, Supercoach-wise from him. Himmelberg with an 89. That's about where he's at, I think. And Marek did not play. So, that is the side. Let's have a look at some potential captains. So, all right. I'll zoom out a little bit so just see my whole side if I can. Just out. All right. So, Collingwood, Brisbane. So, look, it's tough to recommend Lachie Neale in current form, isn't it, as a VC? But just for now, I'm just going to do this as I go. If I see a better option, I'll change it. But as I say, Collingwood don't tag. I'm expecting Brisbane to really step up this week. If there's ever a time that you want to play Collingwood, it's with Moore and Dacos out of the side. So it's at Marvel. Excuse me. You know that we don't perform too well at the G historically. That's a basic fact. We all know that. Chris Fagan will give you many excuses, but I think we've just got to accept it. We're not a great team at the G, which doesn't really bode well for winning a grand final, I know. But I've just got this feeling, sometimes you've got to go with your gut. I've just got this feeling that my man Lachie is going to secure 3 Brownlow votes. I think he could have a really, really solid game. Now, maybe not much logic behind that. We should actually get the projected scores up. He's only projected to go in 87. History suggests nothing fantastic, but it's just a bit of a gut feel. All right, the Tigers and North. Look, would you go a real Pod and Sheasel? I've got Bolton and Taranto, but probably not willing to go there. Carlton doesn't help me in my situation. Miller doesn't really help me either. And again, I'm just going to keep this personal to my side. We'll go through all the best captaincy options in the Sword Play Potty in great detail. So you may even want to switch off now, guys, if you want, and just wait for that, if that floats your boat. If you want to stick with me, cool. Always up for a chat. All right, so joints. Do I trust a Merit? They probably won't tag, will they? Do you go gut feel? What's Zerett's history like? Because they've been notorious taggers when De Boer was out. I don't know if his history goes back that far. 111, 71, 131. That's okay. Don't know what happened here. I don't have a great memory. Maybe I'll ask Spills as an Essendon supporter. He'll probably be able to tell me. That's nice though, isn't it? Against the Pies. Do you switch it to Zeret? Did me really well the week before, not well last week. We'll see. Giants. Not going Cogs. No, that doesn't help me. Geelong Saints. I'm not going Steel. Stewart. I've just lost a little bit of faith in, I think, at the moment. Crows Swans. Okay, so where are my loopholes? So non-playing players. I've got Dewar. He's here, but I want to use him to get a best score on potentially for a loop, and don't want to have to rely on him. That can be a mistake. Roberts. So it's got to be, it's got to be a GWS, doesn't it? So my hand's almost forced here, unless I rate the captain choice and having the late captain choice more. Yeah, because the trouble is, if you look at this, if I leave Sheasel here as my emergency, and he doesn't score well, I have Taranto there. I could probably still do it, couldn't I? Sorry, I'm just talking out loud now. Do not blame me if you've tuned out. Alright, I'll work that out later. Dogs and West Coast. Alright, so this is really easy, I think, here. Captain or VC for now. Yeah, because I don't have any Melbourne, Hawthorn, Loops, Port, Freo. Hopefully I don't. That will mean that one of my primos are out. So, Bond has to be the captain choice as a backup. Ooh, geez, Butters is in form, isn't he? In last 3. Now, do you know what? I reckon I'm going to go Bond just to be safe. I'm going to skip track against Hawthorn because I don't know if Finn's going to go to him. Probably Oliver, but you just never know. And Maxi, Hawthorn a hard to score against anyway, but with Brody Grundy in the bloody side, Gorn's just a nothing pick. The Schlong I wouldn't trust. Dogger, do you go a real pod in Dogger? Do you know what? We'll save this for the sword play potty. At the moment, I'm looking to go Neale into Bond, which may not be everyone's cup of tea, and I haven't done much research with this either, but We will talk about that in more detail when we get together tomorrow night. So that is it for now, guys. Sorry for boring you at the start with all of my action figure purchases. For the select few that are into that, you probably enjoyed it. So, yep. Kudos to you, but apologies to anyone else that absolutely got bored by that. As I mentioned, I'm going to get together with the boys for the potty tomorrow night. In regards to the stock market, I really don't think there's much point. What I'll do in place of that is a live Q&A, most likely on a Friday night. Actually, no, I can't. No, sorry. Man, I did not even think about this. So, Friday night, forgot to mention this. I'm heading in to Crown for the Supercoach catch-up. So I think it starts at 6 o'clock. Check the events on the Facebook page. I'm not a Facebook user, so I can't really help you with where to go there, but I'm sure it's somewhere on Twitter as well. But yeah, that is going to be absolutely awesome. So I'm heading there with Brent. Janeth's going with Ross from the Third Man Up. Or I say Janeth from the sword play. Rossi, one of our brothers as well, obviously. Spills is heading along, which would be awesome. I think H is going. I think Jono and Cause are hoping to go. Heath Shaw's going to be on the panel. Al Payton. I think the Supercoach Edge boys may be going. I think Steve's going as well. So many blokes and wonderful ladies as well. It's not funny. So there's going to be trivia night there. And best of all, it's going to be a massive catch-up with content creators, just general players of the game, people that watch different channels. And if you did enjoy the podcast I did with Brent the other day, then maybe you're keen to meet him as well and meet the unique character in person. So, yeah, I will be doing that. So I can't do live Q&A on the Friday. I don't know what Shorty's doing, what night he does. I don't know what other content creators do in regards to lives. And the last thing I want to do is step on anyone's feet. So I may have a bit of a sniff around, see what other people's schedules are, and see if I can fit maybe a live Q&A on a night where no one's putting anything out. Because the last thing I want to do is compete with anyone. I'm not like that. I'll give everyone else their own time. But if there's a chance to do it, I will. If not, we'll try to answer all the questions we can on the Swordplay Potty tomorrow night. I'll put a mailbag tweet up nice and early so you can get all your questions in, and hopefully you can tune into that. Should be uploaded on the Wednesday morning. So that is it for now, guys. Hope that you're well. All the best of luck with your prelim finals this week, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye.